She is Madeline Consoer. Look at you.
Hi.
Unbelievable. So fashionable too. Look at that compound.
I know this is my office. It's the coolest looking place in my house.
I mean, you're a pretty cool looking chick, but I have to tell you, super excited to have you, Madeline. I mean, obviously the voice contestant for my audience, incredible talent, just released a heck of a song, Wish It Away. And we also heard How Do I Not, by the way, which is sick. So you're like on a hot streak. Love everything you've done. So welcome to the show, Madeline.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. By the way, isn't it amazing, Madeline? Because, reading about you, people just said, oh, this girl came out of nowhere. Just she burst onto the scene, stuff like that. And it's like, no, Madeline's been singing like her whole life in Wisconsin. Like, does that like trip you out a little bit when you hear like she just like came out of nowhere?
I do. I get where they're coming from though, because I have like I released music like in the past or whatever, and it was okay. I was kind of like honing in my craft and just working on my sound. Because I have been doing this for like 10 years, writing and performing and playing and everything. But yeah, now recently I feel like I finally found my sound. I found the people I want to work with and, keep going with. And I have all these songs. So it's just like bang, 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 bang. So I get where they're coming from though.
Totally, totally. Did that take a while, Madeline? And the reason I ask is obviously, you moved to Nashville a few years back, but there is so much variety here, right? Like there's so many songwriters, in your ear, so many styles, co-writes, that whole thing. You say I finally found my people. Was that like, did it take a minute for you?
It took 6 years.
Yeah, yeah,
I think Nashville is so full of, full of amazing people, but there's also, the not so amazing people. And you have to filter your way through who you fit best with and who you vibe best with. Doesn't mean that if you don't vibe with them, they're not a good person. It just means that they, maybe like their sound isn't exactly what you are aiming for or going for. And
it's like
who,
dating.
huh?
It's like dating,
It is like it is
you
absolutely,
know?
you are so correct. It is just like dating. Like
Exactly.
you kind of go like, okay, this person has, this writing style or this producing style. And yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah,
And I think they call it a 10, they do call it a 10-year town. I know they
right.
did. But I think it's 10 years to find yourself is
Yeah, now it's like 13 with inflation, and I think that's outdated. I think it's like it's like a 13-year town now. But yeah.
with inflation.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. The two people that I wrote Wish It Away with, Chase and Jerry, we joke every single time when we go in for a write. We're like, all right, Maddie, how you feeling about inflation today? Are we writing about this?
There you go. There you go. There's a song lyric for you. Yeah. 10-year town became the 13-year town. But oh my
Yeah,
God, too funny.
because of
Too funny.
inflation.
Oh my God, too funny, Madeline. But yeah, but I'm so impressed with all the stuff you do. I mean, obviously, like your growing career in music. I mean, you do stuff at Barry's Nutrition. You're in all sorts of places, Maddie, and hard worker, disciplined, and just reading up on you at Northland Pines High School. Like you managed to be on honor roll as well while you were pursuing all your stuff. Like, where did this discipline come from? Like, it's unbelievable.
I think my parents instilled that in me. I think it was, they didn't just hand me the things that I had on a silver platter. They were like, if you want this, you have to work for it. My first album, I worked 4 jobs for right out of high school because, well, album, it was an EP, it was
Yeah.
4 songs, but like I worked my booty off just so I could, earn the trip to Nashville and earn that studio time. And I think that instilled in me, like work really, really hard for the things you want. And then when you get there, it's just 10 times more worth it. And yeah, I've always kind of been like that. Yes, I've had my moments where I'm like, I really would like to stay in bed today.
Sure. Sure.
But I'm very thankful for them they gave me the opportunity to move to Nashville. Without them, I would not be here. I would be homeless and I would not have a roof over my head. But like, oh my gosh, they gave me such a good starting point to launch my career. I'm so thankful for them, to tell me to work hard. They worked hard. They both are entrepreneurs, started their own businesses, all that kind
Mm.
of stuff. So I'm just, leading by example.
Yeah, well, there you go. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess.
It does
Um,
not.
but yeah, and let's jump into Wish It Away just for a second, Maddie. Which I think you'll perform for us in a second. We're very excited, but you just hit the nail there with like some of the feelings, not only your mid-20s. Obviously, you touch about it, girls getting married, and I'm here drinking in the weekdays, but also like, I'm in my 30s. You still have those feelings sometimes. How do you feel about it now? Because I'm sure you wrote this song maybe a year, maybe more ago, as it is sometimes in Nashville. Are you more at peace, kind of like with the process, like of where you're in life, and like kind of like everyone has their own journey? Like, where are you there now?
I'm definitely at peace now.
Yeah,
I feel I actually wrote this song this year, Wish It
there you go.
Away. It was I had another song in place to get released and I said, "Nope, I like this one better." And we put that one next. So but anyways, I don't think that there should be such a pressure to get married, to have babies, to do all these things. I think, especially with like women, we are now able to have our own careers and all these things. Whereas in the past, it was like, we are supposed to get married and we are supposed to have babies. And that was how
Right,
it goes.
right.
And again, with my family, I'm very fortunate that when I go home for Christmas and Thanksgiving, it's not like, "Hey, Maddie, when are you going to get married? Like, when is that going to happen? You're not getting any younger." Like, they've never asked me that. They've
No,
never even
it's
asked.
worse in the South, right? In the South, it's a little more, right?
I think so. Yeah. Cause yeah, being from the North, I've never really had that issue. Some of my friends always have, but
Sure.
yeah, but I really appreciate that a lot because I'm very driven and I'm not gonna, give up until I get there. And I think it's awesome just to have the support of my boyfriend and my family and everyone without the pressure. It's just
Unbelievable.
support.
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone we talk to, like you have such a great name recognition already. So it's growing. And allow me to get my notes here because you have this beautiful quote that I wrote down. It's from like your old blog, but like you basically rock it. You say, that you love words as much as I love human beings, you say. And you say, we need to stop describing things as good and start describing things as marvelous, fantastical, whimsical, infatuating. Like basically you go on this beautiful like poetry in this blog about like how words, it feels like I'm reading like Ernest Hemingway. You know what I mean? It's such a beautiful thing. Tell me a little bit about like just this love affair with words, because like you're like a poet. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Wow, I can't believe you found my old blog. I love it. I wanted to get back into that anyways. I love writing. I just haven't pulled the pieces back together,
It's right there,
but
untouched since 2015.
yeah. I've always loved writing. It's always been a thing for me, it's hard for me, like, say I am starting a new relationship and I'm trying to tell this person how I feel, like I really like you, all these things. But I almost like I stumble over my words and I trip over what I'm trying to say because I feel like I can't find exactly what I want to say until I write it down first. And I
Yeah.
find better words that describe that better. And I do. I think I have this saying that I say every single day of my life that words are hard because it's hard to speak the words for me, but
Sure.
writing them down is just like it's just comes so naturally and I love to do it. And I have a thesaurus right by my bed because I think it's important to expand your vocabulary, but also like with songwriting, like when you describe something, you don't, you want to be more specific than generic. You don't want to be like,
Right.
I drove, like for Wish It Away, for example, like, you know, 16 and you're driving your first car. We didn't just say that. We said 16 driving a Toyota with a roof leak. And then at
Yeah,
the
and
end,
your wind over your hair, right?
yeah, like it's just the whole entire picture, I think is powerful. And
It
I
is.
I love painting a picture like that. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just love your state. I gotta tell you, like Madeline, like you have such a great like energy and such a great state. And again, you touch about it in the blog as well. You said that you're obsessed with like the beauty of everything. You're dumbfounded by nature and impressed with how everything works and coexists. It's a beautiful thing, but man, like that is beautiful. What like when you have a bad day, which we all do, Madeline, like how do you like jump out of that? Because I think that is like the difference between, we all have challenges, but the difference in how we look at challenges is a big differentiator in our lives. How do you pull out of those bad days?
Recently, I've kind of gained just a different perspective, because when you have a bad day, I think you really need to think about the day as a whole as well. Was it one bad thing that happened that led you to feel this one certain way for the rest of the day? Or was it a consecutive thing of just thing after thing that sucked and you hated it and it brought you down and the whole day was trash? Was it an entire like, let's can this day? Or was it literally like a, maybe I could have just had a bad 5 minutes? And
Context.
yeah, and what I've also come to terms with too is sometimes if you go to someone and you talk about your problems and you're like, this is what I'm going through at this moment in time and this is what's really hard for me, and someone says, well, think about this person, they have it worse, and then you're like, but these are my problems. Someone is always going to have it worse than you, but it's how you deal with what you're going through.
Yeah.
And so I just try to focus on like when I have like a bad 5 minutes or a bad day, I try to focus on my little bubble. And then I just start to think and start to get creative. And I'm like, how can I improve upon this bad day or this bad week or this like slump I've been in? Because like, this is my life and these are my problems. No one else is really going to care too much about my problems. So I have to get out of it. And I have to like find, okay, I'm going to write a song about this, or I'm going to go on a walk outside. And since it's 100,000 degrees in Nashville, maybe I'm going to do that at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, maybe.
It's so hot. But it's just finding joy for me in the small things that make me happy, that I know make me a better person. For me, it's a walk. It's, cooking a good meal, watching my favorite TV show, just stuff like that. I don't know. I think a lot of people, it's important to feel, but I think a lot of people just get stuck in feeling sad and down because it's easier. But once you're happy and once you're like living your life and doing things that make you feel good, like that's actually easier once you get there. It's hard to get out, but once you're out, you're like, oh, this was here the whole time and I was just sad for 3 days.
Yeah. It's so interesting you mentioned that, because I mean, our brains are designed to look for the negative because it's like survival. We're like cavemen. So yeah, we have to train ourselves to look at I have to tell you, Maddie, your music is amazing, but I've done this for a long time, for like 16 years in radio and stuff. And like, one of the greatest things about you, you're super talented and all that, is like the light that you can inspire to your fans. Like all the stuff you're telling us is everybody needs to hear it. Like that's part of your purpose, and it's a beautiful thing, actually.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's true. It's true, Maddie. All right. You're going to play for us, but let me ask you about the 12:30 Club. You recently played in Broadway, Justin Timberlake's restaurant or whatever. You also obviously, like, you're playing really cool venues, like around Nashville, like, big names, legendary names, and you sometimes sprinkle the Broadway here and there, like the 12:30 Club. Tell us a little bit about like the difference, and be as much as honest as you can. Like playing covers for tourists, or like, sharing your own art in like a place like, the Bluebird Cafe. Like, just contrast them a little bit from an artist perspective, if you will.
The two shows are an artist show, so like an artist gig where I'm playing my own music with my band or just me. And then the 3-4 hour cover gigs downtown are just, they're similar, but completely different. Similar in a way that like, I just love to perform. So I just like being on stage. I mean, that's what I do for a living. That is my job. I have absolutely no right complaining. Like I sing with my guitar and use my talents to make other people happy. And I don't know, I always feel bad complaining, even if I am tired and it's another 4-hour shift and I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, dang, I don't want to go to work today. And I'm like, oh, well, this is not bad. But I will say the artist gigs are what I live for. Like I live and breathe.
Totally.
The music I write and all that stuff. I love it. Like that's what I want to do, obviously, for the rest of my life. The cover gigs, they get tiring, and that's
and they pay well. Like they also pay well,
They pay decent.
Oh, they pay decent. Okay.
I mean, I have a day job as well because they don't pay amazingly.
Got it. Okay.
But like yesterday, I had a gig yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
My heart is so full from that show yesterday. It was 4 hours by myself, me and my guitar. I had such a good time. The crowd was like requesting these songs that I haven't like been requested in like years. They were like picking out some good ones. And I was like, you guys have great taste. And they were just super responsive and they wanted to hear my music. And they were like, it was such a good dynamic. But then you have the gigs that really get you down and everyone's hammered and everyone doesn't
Right.
care. Maybe two people come up and say, hey, thank you for playing, like here's $10,
Yeah.
like those, the good days make it all worth it, I think. But
Yeah.
there are those cover gigs really, really
Oh my
eat
God,
your soul.
totally.
They really do
Totally.
sometimes.
I know. No, I hear you. And with touring too, obviously we both have friends in Nashville that, there's weekday gigs that, attendance is low and kind of test you, but you have a purpose. You have a purpose, Maddie, and we're so glad that you're growing and you're kicking ass. And what an energy. You're gonna get so far. We're so happy we got you like at this stage. We're buying your stock basically early on. Yeah.
I love it.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So yeah, do you want to play a little song for us as we head
Of
into the
course.
weekend?
I will do. Yeah.
Oh my
I'm gonna do
God,
Wish It Away for you. I'm so
what an
excited.
honor.
Okay, hang on. I need to see what key this is in. I wrote it. I should know this, right? Okay, I'm gonna back up.
Love it. Love it.
Okay.
By the way, my audio audience won't see it. My video will, but like incredible like sense of style in your house.
Oh,
I just yeah, like what? It's like a decor magazine, but whatever.
I definitely can attribute all of that to my mom. She is incredible at interior design. I know nothing. All right, here we go. Oh, it's this. 16 in the front seat of a hand-me-down Corolla that was dark green with a roof leak and 100 on the motor. Nothing sweeter than the feeling of the wind in my hair. Didn't have a dime, but I didn't care. 18, had my first drink at a college bar in Austin. Snuck in with the naughty, saying I was 24 in August. We were young but didn't know that we had nothing to lose. Always trying to be older, now I'm missing my youth. Now I'm sitting reminiscing, thinking how I didn't know how good I had it when I had it. Yeah. I wish I didn't wish it away. Wish the freedom that I had could have stayed. Wishing I could go back to the days. Cause back in the day, we didn't know that we'd know what we know now. Cause it ain't the same. Ain't it funny how much that you change? Growing up ain't all that you think, but it couldn't wait. Oh yeah, I wish I didn't wish it away. 25 and it seems like all my friends are getting married, drinking red wine on a weeknight while they're all having babies. I don't have my shit together like I probably should, but maybe one day I'll look back and think that I had it good. It's hard to see it when you're in it. I wish I didn't, I wish I didn't wish it away. Wish the freedom that I had could have stayed. Wishing I could go back to the days. Cause back in the day, we didn't know that we'd know what we know now. Cause it ain't the same. Ain't it funny how much that you change? Growing up ain't all that you think, but it couldn't wait. Oh yeah, I wish I didn't wish it away. 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 Wish the freedom that I had could have stayed. Wishing I could go back to the days. Cause back in the day, we didn't know that we'd know what we know now. Cause it ain't the same. Ain't it funny how much they change? Growing up ain't all that you think, but it couldn't wait. Oh yeah, I wish I didn't wish it away. I wish I didn't wish it away. I wish I didn't wish it away. Oh, yeah. When I'm 83 and I'm wishing that the hourglass was slower, I'll daydream of being 16 in a 96 Toyota.
Unbelievable. My chills have chills.
Your
Madeline.
chills have chills.
Unreal. Thank you so much. That was magic. Thank you so much, Maddie, for your time. That was wonderful.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And we look forward to seeing your journey in Nashville, and I'm sure we'll cross paths sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.